What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel for my Revisiting DDA in 2023 series. This time around, we are going to start up an Apprentice miniseries. This one's going to go 5 episodes. We're going to talk about the greatness of the Apprentice endgame, and additionally, how you would start things off with your Apprentice as you're just beginning to play the game. Now, the purposes of this series is just to kind of give an overview hero introduction of goals of where you want to get to and where you'll be at when you begin for all the new players that will be coming to the game with Couch Co-op, which will be upcoming. Now, the Apprentice is a powerhouse of a builder with some of the most meta defenses in the entire game, all packed into one hero. Now, one of the things that makes the Apprentice really great is the runes system. Now, runes will start dropping right away as you first start playing the game. The quality of rune you get, or the quality of rune that drops, depends on the difficulty that you're playing. Now, runes are quite game-defining. They're not something to be ignored, and they can just turn your defenses and heroes into absolute powerhouses. Now, the Apprentice has the luxury of having some really good runes drop right in Act 1. We've got things like the Deadly Striker Tower, which is an incredible tower by itself. The Explosive Striker rune is going to drop in Act 1, and it's going to turn this into an AoE tower, giving it an explosion on hit. Now, one important thing about runes, you see here the favored map, Ancient Mines. The main thing this is telling you is where that rune drops. Now, Ancient Mines is not necessarily where you'll find this rune, but this rune can drop anywhere in Act 1, so any of the base campaign maps or on the Encore map itself, anywhere in Act 1. The favored map is referring to the rune that will be in the victory chest. There has a higher chance of this rune to drop in the victory chest, but it still does come around to full RNG. Now, the Apprentice has everything you would want. The rune system is so incredible. It turns the elemental blockade into arguably one of the best blockades in the game with that rune. It's an absolutely incredible rune, and this one I'm referring to is Elemental Discharge. Just an amazing, amazing rune. However, the Apprentice really can do no wrong in the rune department. We got Bouncing Magic, which makes the magic missiles bounce and turns this from a meme tower into a dream tower. We've got Focus Flame, which drops the Flame Burst tower down to a single target defense, but gives it an incredible damage boost. And then we got Pulsator, which makes the Lightning Tower an absolute beast, as it will hit literally everything every time it starts its cycle. So no matter what you're wanting to do, if you're wanting a defense that's going to bounce around between enemies, if you want a defense that's going to chain around in between enemies, if you want something that's just going to be a big single target boom, or if you want something that's going to say shoot through walls, the Apprentice is going to cover it all. The Deadly Strikes Tower, of course, has no line of sight, so it will shoot through walls, making it just a go-to in any situation where you've got line of sight issues with the enemies. But where do you start off when you are a brand new fresh character? So this is my Apprentice that's been in the deck with my Squire from the previous series, so we are going to continue along with where we left off. Now, just like the Squire, our initial points, we want to go into range. Range is just really going to help us out. As you see, I got myself up to 25 range points. Then I split things up between power and defense rate. As far as armor sets on the Apprentice, you're going to want to go with either a defense rate armor set like Primitive, or a power armor set like Minor or Militia. Either of those two are great. For this particular case, I went with a Primitive set. Now, of course, as I discussed those runes that are available early game, as you see, we picked up an Explosive Striker rune just from playing through on the Squire in Act 1. We're going to go ahead and use that one. And then additionally, we picked up a Pulsator rune. We are going to use that one as well. Now, runes, of course, the higher the rank you get as you climb the difficulties, the better the quality of the rune and the best results you're going to get out of it. However, runes are powerful very early right out of the gates, so never hesitate to use runes once you get them unlocked. So let's go ahead and continue along with the campaign where we left off. Last time up, we did Magus Quarters, so let's jump into Tornado Valley and give it a little run here. Alright, and here we go in the T Valley. Now this particular one, we got, what, 5 total lanes, only 85 DU. So this particular map is a little bit light compared to some of the others in the amount of defense units allowed. However, we're still going to be able to get the job done. Now we're going to start off kind of like we would prior, with using a blockade, and then we're also going to throw some towers into the mix. So first things first, let's go ahead and get things walled up. You will go through a large stretch in your experience in Dungeon Defenders Awaken where you no longer need to use walls. However, you just can't go wrong with throwing down some blockades early game as things are kicking off. Now over here we got an opportunity for a little double dip action with some lightning towers. Now another important thing to note is we are coming up on level 20. Now on level 20 we are definitely without a doubt going to want to take advantage of the buff beam from the EV. It's just an incredibly meta defense in the game and one you just can't go wrong with. Alright, let me go ahead and let's get rid of one of those. That way we can get a little something else over here. Maybe we can use one to split this lane a little as well. It could be a little sketchy here with upfront placement like this, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's go with an LT, something like that. Now, another benefit the Apprentice has as you're leveling up is the weapons can be quite powerful. The Apprentice, of course, is using staffs. As you see here, I don't have a set bonus at all, so did not equip that. However, the staves in the game can be incredibly powerful early on. Now, let's go ahead and get through this first wave here and see what we can do. The Apprentice also has some really, really nice abilities. You've got Overcharge, which is the Apprentice boost ability. This is not only going to increase the damage of your secondary fire, but additionally, it is a tower boost. It is a speed rate boost and can be just an absolutely incredibly powerful addition to your setups. We've got a little action on this wall over here, so we better go ahead and put these guys down a little. Let's see if we can't get through this pack here. But I am using a lightning damage weapon. Looks like that orc is nice and distracted at the moment, which is just about perfect. However, we do have our overcharge back, so let's see if we can't get some bigger shots on these guys here. Alright, our overcharge has expired already as we ran out of mana. Now, later in the game, you will get to a point where you can keep that uptime to 100%. As you're going to be getting mana regen accessories added into your build. We got a few more to go here. Still plugging away. Let's get a quick heal. And we're just about there. Get some big shots here. And there we go. So now we can get a few more defenses in and get things rounded out here a little bit better. As you see, that lightning tower did incredibly well here. So good stuff there. Now, here we've got one of those shoot-through wall opportunities. Do we want to take that route, or do we want to go with the lightning tower? Or do we want to throw something entirely different up here? Let's see. Let's go with let's throw a couple of magic missiles in up here on this lane. Now, magic missiles, or all Apprentice defenses, or all defenses really for that matter, have the benefit of gaining range when they're upgraded. Now, the Apprentice, you get a real payday on this, particularly with things like the magic missile and the flame burst tower. You're just going to get an incredible amount of range value out of those upgrades you put into it. We'll get a Deadly Striker down here in a moment as well. Now, another big benefit the Apprentice has, too, is it is the biggest fireworks show in the game. There's nothing greater in the world of fireworks than the Apprentice. In fact, let's go ahead and get some fireworks started on that lane. We'll get a flame burst up there. Do we want to throw something else in over here? You know what? Let's get... I'm out of juice there. And that's where that magic missile is so nice. Super low cost. Low cost, low DU requirement. Makes it so we get a little bit of a powerhouse going there for single target. Now, the rune, of course, gives it a bounce. Now, that rune doesn't come till later, so I don't have it unlocked yet. However, let's see if we can't boost this guy and get some shots fired here on that. Let's get these boosted up as well. Actually, that boost will probably be worn off before these enemies get here. Let's see here. And there we go. Let the zapping begin. Overcharge is the greatest tower buff in the game. Oh no, we're getting pot shots going on over here. Now, the way to avoid that, of course, is with some reflect beams. So maybe we will get some reflects up to help out. Help out a little bit with these towers we've got put up in the front section. Oh no, and the death is real. Not really sure. It must be slightly out of range there. See, we can't just send that guy packing. There we go. Alright, so we've got a little bit of an issue here. Let's see, what do we want to do? I tell you what, let's just get let's get some range in. Let's go with a Deadly Striker. Do we want it right there? It doesn't feel like it's very good placement to me. I would like to get a reflect beam in though, as it just feels like that's kind of going to be a no-brainer for me. We can just put a reflect... where do we want one? Let's just put a reflect right there, and then we'll go with another LT here like we had. Now, I do want to get some other defenses down here. And what do we want to do? The magic missiles and flame burst just wrecked that lane up there. But I do want to get some DSTs in, so... why don't we do this? We'll angle a DST so that it will cover both of those lanes, because remember, it will shoot through the terrain. And then we'll put another one over here so that it will cover both of these lanes as well. And shooting through the terrain will be a non-issue. We still got 25 DU left. Let's see if we got enough mana to build anything else out. The Deadly Strikes towers are just incredibly good, y'all. Incredibly good, particularly as you get them buffed. Like when you get a buff beam on it and then using a buff hero, they just become ridiculously good. I don't have enough mana to place any more of them, though. So let's just go ahead and let it fly for this next wave. We'll save up and get some Deadly Strikes shooting through this column here. Give it a little boost. I talked about the range upgrades or the range value. I definitely want to get some upgrades in, but you know, I want to get the map built out first. Let's just go ahead and knock that guy back into the range of that magic missile there. Over here, it's just pounding. This is just Pound Town. 2 magic missiles and a flame burst, and it's just embarrassing these Gobus over here. We do have a bunch of mana here. Still got a lot of enemies coming. 77 more enemies coming here. Tell you what, let's go ahead and get it in. Let's get I want to place these so it's going to cover both lanes, because remember, it's going to shoot through the wall. Let's get one in, say, right there. get another one in about like that. And that should give us a little bit of coverage against those enemies that are standing back. Now, additionally, remember, I've got that rune in, so we are getting a little bit of an AoE explosion off of those DST blasts. The DST is very strong single target damage. It hits really, really hard, but you see its attack rate is slow. Now, of course, as we get more stats, we're going to be able to get that attack rate way down. However, it does start off a touch on the slow side for sure. Now, we've got 9 left. What do we want to do with 9? Well, we can get another Deadly Striker in. Where would we want it? Do we want to put another one just right here? Try to cover both lanes with it? Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's throw another one right there. And then that leaves 1 DU left. Now, once again, we always want to use up all of that available DU. That way we are getting that little XP bonus. But where do we want to put that? We can just throw another wall, say like right over here, just to use it. Now, I talked about the magic missiles and the range upgrades. If we take a look at this at tier 1 with no buffs or anything, it's got a just over 6 meter effective range. Now, if I give that one upgrade, that is now 7.3 meters. And the amount that you gain per upgrade is very, very nice on the magic missile. Additionally, the flame burst is 7.87 meters. We give it an upgrade. The upgrade value is not quite as much on the flame burst. With magic missiles, though, it is crazy, crazy good. So let's continue to let it fly here. I think we'll probably be automated enough where we can just kind of check out what's going on the map here. We see the LT or lightning tower getting some shots in, chaining through those enemies. It is low damage per target, but of course it's hitting lots of targets. So same thing over here. Those were actually clearing out the lane. And it looks like that DST may have one-tapped that orc, so good stuff there. That is for sure. Let's check out this flame burst in all its glory. Boom! Just big damage. The flame burst does hit hard for it being an AoE defense. So early game, the flame burst can carry you. It really can. It's just that good. It's got a nice AoE explosion when that fireball hits, and is just able to just smash. So you see it's doing that, what was it, 2600 damage? 25, 27. There is damage fall off, so it'll do varying amounts of damage depending on how far away it was from the explosion itself. But it is a lane clearer. There is just no doubt there. Get this DST upgraded. The DST, of course, you're going to get more range out of your upgrades, but more importantly, you're going to get a little bit faster fire rate. The DST does shoot slow, so the quicker you can get it firing, the better off you are going to be. And here we go, more runes. So just looking good on getting these runes soaked up. Now, the runes are not upgradable. They drop at their power level. So, like a 1 of 8 quality rune, of course, is going to be available right instantly as soon as you start playing the game. And then an 8 of 8 quality rune won't come until later on when you're in the higher difficulties and knocking out some massacre, mixed mode, hardcore, rifted survival. You'll start seeing lots and lots of those 8 of 8 godly quality runes. We did pick up a few more points. Let's see. What did we get? We got 4 more points for that upgrade. Let's go ahead and bring our power up just a touch more. And now it is even with our range. And we'll let it fly for this last wave here. See what we can do. There's the LT popping off. Just does lots of damage chaining through all those enemies. The Deadly Striker, of course, is just the big pounding. Ooh, we're getting range shots from up here as well, too, it looks like. Let's get a repair going on these guys. Actually, I could have just upgraded those. Probably would have been a little bit better, a better result. Alright, we got this stuff upgraded as high as we can get it. Throw another upgrade over here. and get a little bit more range, a little bit more fire rate out of these DSTs. But I feel like we're in real good shape here now. We're just closing the deal out, able to get it done, and it's just all about getting your stats allocated in the runes. Now, the game is definitely a loot grind game. It's all about the loot. However, early on, you're going to get more value out of your points that you pick up than you will any of the loot, as every time you level and you get those skill points to apply, it's just where the majority of your stats are going to come from when you're early on. So always take a moment and get those applied and just watch your power level go through the roof. So we are just wrecking it here. Yeah. I think this one is job done. Oh, what happened up there? Somehow an orc got up top and started going slappy boy on my LTs there. But there we go. That will do it for this episode. This is going to be 1 of 5 as we play through Act 2 on The Apprentice. And definitely a powerhouse of a hero. The Apprentice is usable in high fashion on all levels of play in the game. Now, once you get towards the end game, there is some survivability struggles you have on the Apprentice, as having that best boost in the game also comes with the downside of being one of the more squishier heroes. However, as you're progressing through the game, the Apprentice can be a strong DPS character that will help you blast through everything. But that will do it for this episode. Thanks an absolute ton for watching, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.